That's no problem. Because my Pokemon will be...
Fuck. Something that you all don't know about me is I like to treat my body like a temple. I eat plenty of good food, I drink lots of water, and I nurture it. Unfortunately, things happen, and I may have gotten sick. I got really sick, and I couldn't stream a lot of this stuff because I lost a lot of my voice, I lost a lot of my energy. But I wanted to complete the challenge. I had two choices: either stop, pause the challenge, or I keep going. And I said I'd do it in a month. So I'm gonna do it in a month. I play Pokemon Go every day. The smart thing to do would have been to rest and continue later. 2 weeks in, I was getting kind of tired of the 3DS games and wanted to just get through them so I could move on to the Switch games, which I would have a lot more fun doing as well, and the footage would be a lot better in terms of quality through the capture card. Pokemon Y, ladies and gentlemen. From what I've seen online, this was the downfall of Pokemon games. It introduced 3D graphics, which got rid of pixel art, which a lot of the Poké nerds didn't seem to agree with from what I could find online. And look, to be fair, I get it. It's weird, it's different. It's not the feeling that we get and nostalgia from the older games. And look, I agree with everyone. I think it takes away from a lot of the things that we love about Pokemon and all this stuff that we... Oh my god, is that an XP share? Oh my god, it's back. You know what? Fuck you nerds. I don't care. This shit just got a whole lot easier, and I'm about to grind out one of the easiest Pokemon games ever. I got shit to do. I gotta breed, I gotta evolve. There's a whole bunch of Pokemon I gotta catch. I'm not even halfway through this. And then I need an XP share. Fuck you. A big change though with the whole 3D thing is because I've been spending 2 weeks just playing 2D Pokemon for the rest of my life, I forgot what 3D life was like. So now I'm seeing all these objects with different dimensions and shadows and stuff, and it's freaking me the fuck out, man. This one is all the same as Sapphire, as we have to do a starter reset to get all 3 starters because there's no other way to get them unfortunately yet. And boy, is this a long intro. What do you mean I have to go hang out at Walmart's version of Stranger Things and then go battle one of the blondes who doesn't know how Pokemon or match types work, and then walk through 2 routes just so I can go get a Pokédex? And the worst part is I have to do it 2 more times now, and you people don't realize how much I suffered to get through all these Pokemon. This was no easy adventure. Because I've been sick, I couldn't think of a bunch of punchlines for all this skit. There wasn't much to go with without streaming, so I thought I would take the jokes from Paddle Pop Sticks as my punchlines. Anyway, I'm ranting again. My bad. Starting off, we catch multiple of each of the Pokemon through all 3 runs. We get 1 Bunnelby, 3 Scatterbug, 3 Fletchlings. This is definitely going to be an evolution grinding type game, I can already tell. Next up is Santaloon Forest, and with doing this run 3 times, I was able to get 2 of each of the elemental monkeys, which I had to evolve with stones, but those aren't hard to get in this game, fortunately. Also, I want no judgment here, because I was on a time pressure now, and I had to use all 3 starters to abuse the gym lineups and make it easier, and then this game's already super easy, but I had to make it quick, alright people? So as far as gyms go, I'm gonna keep it simple. Bug type, burn to death. Next. We head into the center of the map, Lumos City, or the city that I proved I have 0 sense of direction in. I kept getting lost at every corner. I don't know which way's north. Here we can buy the stones for the monkeys to evolve. Very quick and simple. Get them out of the way so we never have to worry about them again. There's also a lot of things here, like the coffee club for the notorious bad guys in this game. Eventually I do find my way onto Route 5, and I catch the electric mice Minun and Plusle. Also a Furfurle, I don't know how to pronounce whatever the fuck kind of Pokemon that is, but this dude just appears all over the place anyway. I find it kind of weird that this dog is common. It's the dog version of Absol, and Absol is rare in just about every game. So for them to make the dog version more common just feels like favoritism from Nintendo, and oh wait a minute, that explains Nintendogs. Also on Route 5, we get to encounter hordes, and it's not what I expected. It's really slow waiting for 5 different Pokemon to keep hitting, and then to catch them is even slower because you have to beat up 4 of them just to catch the last one left. It was a whole mindless adventure of hitting one at a time and one-shotting them because they're lower level just so you could catch the last one. Ugh, what a grind. Moving forward, we head to Perfume Palace, which looks pretty and all and shows billionaires do exist in the Pokemon world too. Why did the teacher jump in the water? To test the pool. I wonder if the people have a kill the rich group in Pokemon. It would be cool, like everyone hunts down the billionaires too and throws paint on like walls. I am very quickly proven correct on this, as I'm gonna start my own club. The first thing this billionaire does when we walk into the room, it says, hey, 2 kids, I'm gonna go make them get my Pokemon. Apparently one of his Pokemon ran out to the grass, it's been walking around, he can't catch it by himself, the poor thing. He's probably never walked a day in his life, the selfish billionaire. So it's up to us, the 2 10-year-olds who just happened to walk in to go do this man a favor and go get the rich man's Pokemon. On the bright side, he did give us a cool flute, so I can forgive him. With the flute, we can head on through and face off against what I believe is now the 10th Snorlax we've had to wake up. It's becoming a big theme of all these games, and it's getting kind of irritating. The most disappointing part about all of this is I have to go catch him in Arceus anyway, so there's no point in me catching these versions. I'm slowly starting to lose my will to live with this kind of shit. Getting to the point where I'm starting to question my whole life decisions here, you know, playing all these Pokemon games in 1 month and really just not having an outside life right now. I've gotten paler than I thought was ever possible from this shit. No, happy thoughts now. Happy thoughts. Go to your happy place. Go to your happy place. I hate my happy place. Route A is a little weird because I got lost a few times because my dumbass couldn't work out that I can jump on the ledge obstacles, so I kept going back and forth and battling Pokemon and trainers and then having to refresh all that shit. Eventually I worked it out, good news, because I spent so long here. I did actually catch some of the rarer Pokemon I've missed in other games, but conveniently we're on this route. Who knew? Ambrit Town offers nothing but a useless side quest, which is made 3 times longer because I have to ride a Rhyhorn through some spike path. This was a cool feature, I admit. We get a ride on Pokemon. The problem is it takes fucking forever. It's so slow. Why the fuck is this? Why? Then we have to go wander through this whole cave that's a maze because it's all in 3D first person shit, and I get lost very easily in these games. I'm not gonna lie, it's a mess for me. But that's not the worst thing that these monsters could have put into the game, because after all of this, the Pokemon, the trainers, the cave, riding the Rhyhorn, we come out of the cave and we have to ride this motherfucker all the way back, and he didn't get a speed boost in that time either. To the person who made this part of the game, count your days, boy. Count your days. I'm coming for you. What did Mr. and Mrs. Hamburger name their child? Patty. We head back to Ambrit Town and get our fishing rod, and then move on to Sillage City, where the second gym, I think, lives. Honestly, at this point of Pokemon, I've lost track of where I am. The lines are all a blur. I do come back to this town to go get some of the rarer Pokemon when I do have a Super Rod, but unfortunately I can't get them yet, so that's just a bit of future progress there. When I come back, I catch Squelp and Dragalaig. Very convenient for me that they both can be found in this route, just with different rods. Makes it really nice, makes it simple. Thank you, Pokemon. Now I just go beat the gym, which won't be that hard because why the fuck do I have to climb a giant mountain with a bunch of swings and shit? They couldn't have just made this a walk like the rest of them. I swear this is gonna be the game that gives me a mental breakdown. Did the developers accidentally write too short of a story and needed to add 2 more hours of gameplay of just climbing and walking? Thankfully, the gym is easy, even with the long haul climb, so we can head straight on through to Route 10. I'm going to just skip a bunch here, because at this point, the whole Catch 'em All series, we can just run through routes, and we've caught most of the Pokemon there, so it's a lot of skipping simulators for now. Actually, there's literally nothing I do in terms of catching or like really any plot points until the next legendary pop-up, so I might as well just skip to that.
Who's that Pokemon?
It's Pikachu!
It's Clefairy!
Damn, these things are strong. Ooh, this looks cool. It's a giant dragon in the shape of a Y. Wait a minute. Nintendo, you cheeky fuckers. The other one looks like an X too. Wait, this is smart. I like this. I hate them for it, but I like it. This legendary has some really strong attacks, but it's not that hard of a catch, thankfully. If you paralyze it, get it to red, it takes 2 Ultra Balls tops. The annoying part is afterwards, Inspector Gadget rocks up after we've beaten him like twice, and he's like, I'm new and improved, bitch. I have multiple arms. I'm Dr. Octopus from fucking Spider-Man now. So now we gotta go beat him again, but this time we have the legendary that's kind of OP, so fuck him. You know what? He can go back to wherever he came from with these gadgets. What the fuck is this? I probably should have been paying a lot more attention to the dialogue, because at some point, like, he makes us press these 2 buttons, and if we click the wrong one, it activates a weapon. I kind of just clicked and hope for the best, but then he made me click the other one anyway, so it's like, alright. Do they both do the weapon? Why did you make me do it? That's the other thing. Why didn't he just click these buttons? There's not really any more plot developed from this. There's a professor comes to apologize and give us a bit of deja vu by showing us the original start of Final Forms, which I think is a bit of a cop-out. The Nintendo knew this game was so mid that they were like, here you go, have some nostalgia to brighten the mood on the fact you just played a shitty story. We eventually beat him, and then the rival that keeps following us for some reason tells us to head to the next gym. By the way, Route 19 is where I eventually catch Politoad, and it's not easy to find. You have to get a super rod, you have to go down to the bottom of the lake, and it's got like a 5% spawn rate or something from fishing. Fuck that, that's annoying. I did it pretty quickly though, it was kind of cool. We have to skip past Snowbell because of course the gym leader isn't here. More plot twists so we can push this game further. So now we have to go through a whole like jungle maze just because more like push time, I guess. Fortunately, there's some Pokemon we haven't caught here. Jigglypuff somehow is one of them, and I don't want to talk about that. We've skipped him in like every game apparently. There's also a Trevenant, and then finally a Ditto. This is the Pokemon I've been hunting for a while. And I need it because I need to do a lot of breeding, like soon. Like, if I don't start soon, it's going to get to the point where after Arceus, the last 24 hours are just going to be me having a porno sesh with Ditto and just about every other Pokemon. After we find the gym leader, we can go tell him to fuck off back to his gym and do his job, and then we can go battle him. He's a nice type gym, so we get to show him a fiery time. Oh, I'm so fucking depressed. What kind of pun was that? After defeating him well and easy, we get our final badge and are able to progress through to Victory Road. What do Nemo and my dad have in common? They both can't be found. What the fuck? There's no new Pokemon here once again, it's just a bunch of XP farms that make us head into the Elite Four. I do like the twist of us getting to pick the Elite Four. It was put into Pokemon Black, but I didn't really play that far in this series, so we're just gonna ignore that. And yeah, it's pretty cool. It's the first time doing it, right guys? You get to use the weaker ones to level up your Pokemon, so then you can battle the stronger ones that you didn't bring a weakness for. Fortunately for me though, I have all 3 starters and this legendary god, so like, I beat all of them pretty quickly. There's this Malva chick with scary fire type, so I just threw water at them. Wickstrom, who has steel type, so I just threw fire at them. Seabold is a water type, so I just threw grass at him. It's getting pretty simple. It's actually starting to sound a bit like the Avatar intro. You know, water, fire, earth, air. I'm pretty sure I fucked that order. Or did I do it perfectly? Drasna was unlucky as we were given a dragon type Pokemon that's faster than him, stronger than him, just built different than him. So we kind of outstacked him and it was just an easy GG. After beating all of the Elite Four, we are introduced to the champion, Diantha. Look, I could go into detail about how I beat her, but you guys know it was easy. It was so easy. Look, I get it, I used all 3 starters, I used the XP share, blah, 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 blah. We didn't get introduced to this champion, I just met her now and there's no depth to her character. We just rock up and beat her and suddenly we're the champion again. Woo!
My legs are dangling off the edge. The bottom of the bottle is my only friend.
What do a bungee and a prostitute have in common? You die if the rubber breaks. These are dark. These are very dark. Aloha! fuckers, it's Hawaiian Pokemon now. The final 3DS release before we move on to the Switch games. This game doesn't really have a lot to it. It's 4 islands you go through. Each island is a bunch of trials. Eventually you beat all the trials and you can go on to facing the champion of the island. It's a cool concept and very different to a lot of the Pokemon games, but we are here for one thing and one thing only: the Ultra Space Wilds. Now, of course, to reach the Ultra Space Islands, I have to play through this game, so obviously we're going to catch some Pokemon on the way, battle some trainers, have some mental breakdowns. We know the deal by now. There's a bunch of cool things to mention on this game anyway. There's a Professor Oak who's clearly had a lot of vacation time. There's a very over-caffeinated kid who follows you around all the time, challenging you at every corner. A shy girl who just carries around a legendary Pokemon in a bag like it's a plushie. And a bunch of things in this game that, to be fair, I actually don't fully understand, but they were kind of cool. Like, there's a whole surfing thing. It's sick. Like, this game is sick, but for some reason, it's so long. Why? When I looked at the map for the whole trials and everything at the start of the game, I thought this would be pretty quick and pretty easy. But I was wrong. Not only were the Ultra Space Wilds taking a long time to get all the Pokemon I needed from because it was completely random with very little way to manipulate the luck, but there was a bunch of Pokemon I had to catch through elongated trials, like getting the tokens to give to Professor Oak to get some of the rarer Pokemon. There's also a lot of legendaries introduced into this game, and they are able to be caught in Dynamax adventures, but at the same time, it's just a lot more reliable to get them here and now, which also takes a bit of time getting through those trials. But I am getting fully ahead of myself because we haven't even gone to the start of the game. We gotta open it up and get our starters before we can talk about all of the amazing adventures of this. The easy part of this is that we only have to do 2 starter resets this time. Well, technically 1, because we get the first Pokemon and then the next one is the run. Because Rowlet is fortunately in Legends Arceus, which means we don't have to restart to get him. And unfortunately, because I am really shit at these games, this doesn't give me my triple type advantage at the start. So now I actually have to learn how to play this game. But we do still get the XP share, so I just say fuck you to working stuff out. I'm just gonna run in and go. The trials are a very interesting addition to the game. I like them. It's a different feel from the whole gym leaders thing, and it gives us a whole new aspect they added where Pokemon can call in for help. This was sick, but also a little annoying because it forces a lot of 2v1 situations against Pokemon that are very over-leveled against you, meaning I had to actually learn type advantages a bit better. But look, I get there in the end. Slowly but surely this starts to click in my head. I'll admit they did catch me off guard. The first trial was incredibly easy. There was nothing to it, and I thought that was going to be the theme for the rest of the trials. I caught a bunch of Pokemon, strengthened my team, beat the leader of the island. It was no biggie. But then there was the second trial that got me. Because I didn't have Rowlet, I didn't have a flying type. And apparently this Pokemon's only real weakness at the moment was flying that I could catch. So I had to go get a Picky Peck and then grind it up. It was a whole process to beat Araquanid. Also, because I beat the first trial so fast, I didn't realize about the whole SOS like bullshit until Araquanid, when he kept summoning stronger Pokemon and I had to beat them up too while I was getting beat up. It was a whole mess. It was a new type of battle style, and I admit I was not prepared at all and I was doing kind of shit at it, but I learned quickly, and once I realized the whole I just need a type weakness and I can one-shot the giant Arachnid, we're good. So after a bit of grinding, we eventually do beat it and I can move on. Admittedly, this did take me a lot longer than all the other trials, but that's because now I knew what I was up against.
Look at this graph.
So a lot of the Pokemon I get on the first and second islands were only ones I could really catch later, either via super rods or by having parts of the map not being able to be accessed yet. This includes some of the legendaries and anything that was found basically in Ocean, because we wouldn't get given water types until much later. There's also a barcode I have to scan. It's like the only way I can catch one of these Pokemon here. The Pokemon's called Magerna, and the actual only other way to get this Pokemon is by completing the living dex, as I can see, because then you get given the Pokeball version, which is kind of the whole point of what we're doing this trial for, but at the same time, I don't really care about this Pokemon. I just want the whole, like, glory and gold for having every Pokemon. The whole point of this is to have everyone just bow down and worship me, and then realize that 90% of Pokemon fans already own all the Pokemon, so I guess I'll just go fuck myself. Why can't orphans play baseball? They don't know where home is. Pokemon X and Y gets a lot of flack for being easier, but honestly, I found this game to be the easiest of them all. There's like one boss near the end that's admittedly a bit tricky, but overall, getting to that boss was easy. Thankfully now we get to travel to the next island, where a nice stranger has chucked us on a boat and forced us to some other island. Wait, this wasn't where we're meant to go. There's a whole bunch of dialogue, and look, I did not pay attention to this. I zoned out and just went into my own little world and was starting to have a dream. Do you ever have that dream?
That
To cut it short, there's the whole Ultra Space Wilds thing, and there's a bunch of Pokemon we got to catch there in the future, but like there's nothing worth mentioning now. I think a jellyfish appears at one point and tries to piss us off, but we can't catch it, so what's the point in knowing about it? Throughout this game, we've been introduced to the dancing Esches of the world, who clearly weren't bullied enough in high school, just like real life Esches, so at least they got that part right. On the third island, they have taken over a whole town and they have butchered it, so you have to traverse through broken walls, safety hazards, while battling them to reach their base of operations. At the end, you get to the abandoned hotel with more floor drops than a tested bomb site. Holy shit, this is safety hazard written all over it. I could get high here one day. The hotel has a bunch of little notes scattered on the ground that have secret codes to them. Collect all the notes like it's an episode of Slender Man, then go to the top and answer the questions. The trick is, once you answer all the questions correctly, the grunt's going to be like, are you sure? And you have to say no, even though you know all the answers, because apparently this is a whole riddle made by a child and you never know what Team Skull's really thinking. I don't know. Here appears the leader of Team Skull. Holy shit, I just realized they got so unoriginal with these gangs that not only is there no affiliation between them and the legendaries anymore, but the team is just called Team Skull, not Team like Platinum, not Team like a Plasma. It's just Skull. That's so unoriginal. It's like a bunch of band of pirates just going for the One Piece, but being ridden by a crackhead who sold his house for a typewriter. After defeating the leader, someone rocks up claiming to be Island King or something, and now you complete this island, and you can now move on to Pony Island. I feel like I am rushing through the story a lot, but to be fair, not only is these two games like the most boring of all the Pokemon games I had to play in this series, I kind of was sick of the 3DS. I rushed through this story so much, and there's not much to tell because I really just wasn't invested. I just wanted to get to the Switch games. I wanted to be able to move my hands up and down without having arthritis from how I was holding them. I will be playing through these games again in the next year when Prof and me do our little subathon catch them all challenge again. Yes, I'm going to try and catch them all again. I know, I'm crazy, but like, maybe then I'll pay a bit more attention to the story and actually like give it a chance. But I was out of it for this one. The fourth island does not really help because there's not much in the terms of trials, but eventually we go around and find these legendaries. This is when it starts getting cooler. So we go get this flute from an island, and the flute gives us the ability to summon the legendary. The legendary rocks up to go beat Necrozma, but unfortunately Necrozma is like, hey yo, it's morphin time, and then just sucks him up and becomes him. And now we have to fight some Dragon Ball Z shit type legendary. I don't really know what happened here. It just morphed together and now my legendary is gone and I have to battle it twice. The first battle's easy is because it's like not really fully morphed yet. We just kind of, it dips, it just goes. But the second battle is fucked. So we have to go through the Warp Realm and then eventually go through the white portal to rock up to the city, which is cool. We climb this massive tower, lots of stairs, we get to the top, and there he is, Necrozma Ultra. Holy shit, does this look like a badass Pokemon. Unfortunately, there's no way to actually catch this one because technically it's not one Pokemon, I guess. I don't know. I feel like that rule's broken in the next game anyway. I don't know why we couldn't catch this awesome Pokemon. And I'm gonna be fully honest, I could not defeat it. I had a bunch of Pokemon that would just get one shot before I could even do anything. I couldn't attack. I had to rely on something else. So instead of going through grinding the Pokemon to a high enough level and actually outplaying him, I did the most devious shit of all. I put Toxic on my Hypno and I just let him poison to death. I spammed revives and I let that 10% growing toxicity just slowly eat at him. Was it a cheap kill? Yes, absolutely. I regret it, blah, blah, blah. I'm a bitch, blah, blah, blah. But hey, I got the job done, and that's what we're here for. I would like to say, hey, next time I'll actually battle him, but I know me, and I know me well enough to know that, like, when I get to this, next time I play this game, I'm just gonna bring Toxic again.
A few moments later.
Hiffman, it said Kilabana. Oh, it was backwards. Next up, we go into the next island trials where we go battle against the leader. She gives us a pedal and then she says, hey, all those people that you already beat before, I want you to go back and beat them again so they can give you a pedal that they probably could have given you from the start. Like, thanks, you bitch. You're gonna make me traverse through all the islands just for that shit? Just give me the pedals. So we go back, we fly around, we get all the pedals. Thankfully, fly is really easy in this game, so at least it's it's a 5-minute job. You just gotta beat all the island leaders again. You come back and then you get to do the island challenge again. I don't know how these trials keep coming up, or is it just the game trying to give you like this whole 12 hours like gameplay thing? Like, I feel like this game felt pretty long with Ultra Space Wilds and a bunch of the other things, but I guess that was also from the add-on because it was originally just Sun and Moon. So I guess they were just trying to push Sun and Moon to have a lot of content. Eventually, we'd complete all of these stupid little trials that this bitch has given us, and now we can go battle the Elite Four and catch the legendaries. Conveniently, because of lazy writing, they are all on the same mountain, so we just kind of climb the mountain. Necrozma is first. The thankfully convenient part is, now that they've split off, they're a lot weaker. And now it's so easy to catch, because we just beat their Ultra form, so their normal forms are kind of weak in comparison, and they're easy catches. So on this mountain, we catch Necrozma and Soul Galio. And now we can go to the Elite Four. And this is where just the pinnacle of what I believe to be the laziest writing ever. The Elite Four were cool. They actually had like sick designs, sick Pokemon. It was an easy win though, because we were just given 2 legendaries that already over-leveled them. Even if we didn't have all the advantages of the XP share and shit, we were just given 2 Pokemon that can solo the entire Elite Four and champion anyway. There was no point to the rest of the Pokemon on our team. But the laziest and the worst part of all of this is once you beat the Elite Four, you just become the champion. They couldn't even write a champion into this, which I get is a new concept, is a new island, all this stuff and all that. But, like, give us a champion. And then the professor rocks up and he's like, yeah, you can't be champion that easy. We got a battle so you can earn it. And it's like, this dude has so little competition. I reckon some of the Elite Four members could have beaten him. There was nothing special about the fight. But we are done. And now comes the important part. Firstly, there are so many rogue Pokemon that we have to go catch because I went to speedrun this and then forgot to catch so many Pokemon. So I'm going to quickly run through those. So first up, you got the Tapu legendaries. You got Tapu Bulu, you got Tapu Koko, Tapu Fini, Tapu Cartman, Tapu Homa, Tapu Futurama, then you got Tapu Lele just to finish it off. We also go catch a Beware by watching some Beware show where there was like a real one there the whole time, kind of scared off a bunch of people, but not us because we're built different and we catch that shit. We also go catch the Hakama line where we get Junglemon, Hakama, don't know how to pronounce them all. And then we catch a Pokemon that when I first saw, I genuinely thought was a typo or like some glitch in the game. There's a Pokemon called Type Null, and it's written off as if there's like an error in the name and it's like a whole glitch. Apparently it's like a whole thing of the Pokemon. I don't fully get it. But they didn't name it, but then like it evolves into a Pokemon that is named, which is the more confusing part. Like, shouldn't the evolved version be like Error 404 or some shit like that? But now we can finally go into the Ultra Space Wild, and I did a bunch of research for this shit before going in, because it was confusing, but I worked it all out. So basically, to put in perspective, you go through this Doctor Who World Warp thing, I don't know what it's called, it's like a whole hyperspace looking shit. With galaxies all around, and there's these little orb things that you collect to make you go faster and longer, just like Viagra. And then there's the portals that you can go through where you can encounter a random Pokemon. Now, the longer you go, the more chance of these rare portals coming through of like shiny things around them. Those ones have legendaries in them. So not only is there like 13 or something legendaries I have to catch here, but they all summon in specific portals. So I have to travel a good long distance without accidentally going through another portal, which it will force you into if you go slow enough. But then I have to get the right portal, and then it's just a chance of a legendary appearing, and then it's a chance of the right legendary appearing. There is so many factors to this that made this take like 2 days to complete. Like, genuinely, I feel like there could have been easier ways than the Ultra Wilds, but at the same time, it did cut out so much of retelling stories, like going back to playing Ruby to go catch Groudon and shit. But fuck it, we did it. We caught all the Pokemon we needed, so here we go. Let's start off with the ones I'm never gonna pronounce. Nihilego, Buzzwole, Xurkitree, Katana, and my favorite, and also, after discovering it, is gonna be one of my favorite Pokemon, Guzzlord, the Guzz King himself, the Glug Glug master of that fucking Jesus Christ big ass mouth. It doesn't matter what you pack in, because it's gonna look small when he tries to swallow that shit. It's gonna look like a fucking shrimp compared to that Gluck. And then we catch Pokemon that we're a lot more familiar with. We catch Latios, we catch Groudon, we catch Xerneas. I also caught Reshiram here because I skipped it in Pokemon Black. So sucked in Lorden. I don't have to do your stupid kink trials of the Race Dragon. So we are finally done with the old gens. I know it's been a struggle. We've all been going through pain. We've all been losing our minds, but it's over. We are on to the Switch games. It's done. Unfortunately, we have 3 days. I know technically it's 5, but I am going to go see my mother because I did run out on Mother's Day to go catch Kyogre. So I have to go back to out of state, go see my mother, tell her I'm sorry. Hope I come back alive. And then we have 3 days left to go catch the last Pokemon. It's all Switch games from here. So good quality, good memes, funny content. I'm going to have to play Pokemon Arceus in a 24-hour challenge. And I'm going to have to play Pokemon Sword in 1 day. But I can guarantee you right now, nothing is stopping me from this.